everyone. All right, so big account today, a little choppy. I thought I was going to be doing a red day recap here. So first couple trades, I was down just under $20,000, right at my daily max loss, which is 20 grand. I was red yesterday. I did the red day recap. It's so typical and so frustrating. You know, I have a big green day on Wednesday and then a couple of back-to-back big red days. So the one that I took a big loss on, it was light volume. I jumped in it, it squeezed up, I bought it higher and higher, and then the bottom fell out and it just dropped hard. I traded it in my small account and it was green, but in my main account, down $17,000. So then the next one, HLBZ, currently up like 180% in the 20s. Crazy move from breaking news at 9 a.m. It squeezes up from about 9, 10 to 11, then up to 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way to a high intraday so far of just under $26, which is really impressive. So that one, I traded a little timidly at first because I was red on the day, but it got me from red to green. So I'm up today, green. $43,000 on HLBZ, up about $20,000 on the day. Okay, it's a green day, that's good. Hey, I mean, that's great. It's impressive, but it doesn't feel good when the first $20,000 is just digging you out of a hole from a high-risk trade that you got smoked on. That's what's not fun, but that's today. So I'll break it down during the recap. I hope you guys enjoy it. Today's not a fireworks, awesome finish to the week. Yesterday wasn't great, today wasn't a lot better, but today, through the luck of the draw, thanks to HLBZ giving us some nice momentum, I finished in the green. So that's it for me, shutting it down, not taking any more trades. I'll be back at it on Monday. Hit the thumbs up, please, for the Green Day recap, close call. As always, in case you didn't already know, trading is risky. Most beginner traders lose money, so you need to learn how to manage your risk, and you should practice by trading in a simulator before you put real money on the line. My results are not typical, and you shouldn't try to blindly follow me or anyone else for that matter. You're blindly following, you're behind. Now, I trade momentum and I chase momentum. When stocks are moving quickly, I will chase them up, but it's because of what I'm seeing on the level 2 and the chart pattern. If you don't know how to read charts, if you don't know how to read level 2, you can't be trading like that. You gotta be practicing in the simulator. All right, so practice in the sim, do your time there before you switch to real money. All right, I hope you enjoy the recap, and I'll see you guys on Monday. All right, everyone. Well, today is a red day recap. That's what I thought I was going to say. That's what I thought I was going to say when I lost $17,000 on GDEV. And it would have been 2 red days back to back. Red yesterday and red today. But it's a green day. I made $43,363.84 on HLBZ. I jumped into both GDEV and HLBZ fairly aggressively early. HLBZ had news at 9 a.m. My first entry was at $11, and I sold that break even. I sold it flat. It popped up here to 11. What was the high? We're going to actually go into a 10-second chart on this to see that. So let's back this up. It currently has a high of just under $26. So on this one, my first entry was right here, a little micro pullback for the break of 11. Hit a high of 11.25, but I was already red on the day. I was already red on the day when I took that trade. And I knew I was taking risk here. So it hit a high of 11.25, it dropped, I got back out break even. And then it curls back up to 11.50 right here. And I was like, man, I don't know, guys, I'm nervous. I'm already red on the day. I don't feel like I should chase this. And then I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm in. $12.50. I sold at $12.86 for $1,200 of profit. Goes up to 13. I added back on this 1-minute candle right here, and we got a squeeze up to 14.65. It pulls back to 13.78. I added on this pullback. We got to move back up through 14.65 and up to 15. Hit a high of 15.20. Stopped out up here. I added for the break of 15. I added at 15.20, high of day. I stopped out as it came back down. I gave back some profit, but I was still green on HLBZ. It then comes back up, and I got back in. We got to move back up through 15.20 up to 15.50. And then it started to open up as we got closer to the bell, all the way to 17.50. It pulls back, and I held 20,000 shares. 20,000 shares, was looking for the break of 17.50. Let's watch it at the open. Up to 1884, 1893. And then it drops, halts going down. I bought the dip. This was a bounce off the volume weighted average price. It popped up to a high of 1726, a small gain, which I sold. It dropped down lower. It came back up. I got back in at 1775, 18, squeezed up to 1884. And then right here, it hits a high of 1920 and drops to 18, over $1 a share on that drop. Comes back up again. Look at this red candle. That red candle right there cost me $5,000 right there. Lost 5,000. I was up 20 grand on it. And then at that point was up only, no, I was up 20 grand on the day and then was up only 15. I don't remember what I was up specifically on that. Anyways, it ends up coming back up and it breaks 19 right here, rips through to a high of 20. Nice move. Hits a high of a little over 20 and another 2-point drop, a big drop. And at this point, I said, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to push my luck. Maybe it goes higher. I hope it does. News at 9 a.m. It spikes up. I jumped on it pretty quickly. But it didn't hold. Now let's look at GDEV and then we'll look at Bros and ARQQ. So GDEV had news at 7 a.m. All right, now at 7 a.m., it doesn't really respond to the news. It's gapping up at 11. So yesterday it was at 9:33. So it's showing as a gap on the scanner. It is on the gap scanner, but I wasn't looking at it very closely. Someone mentioned, hey, take a look at GDEV. And I pulled up the chart and I noticed all-time highs on it were at 11:05. So all-time highs were pretty close. I saw that there was news on it. I pulled up the level 2. I saw it at 11:50, maybe 11:75. I look away, I look at something else. I look back, it's at 12:50. Now I'm looking at it's at 13. That's at 14. Son of a gun, this thing is ripping. Then it goes up to 15. I bought it at 16. I chased it. Well, chasing paid pretty well on HLBZ, but it didn't pay well on this. I added at 16. Then I added at $18.93. Then I added at $19 and what was it? What was my highest add? Let me look. $19.93. Yep, added at $19.93. So I was adding as it was going up. And I was trying to be aggressive on it. So that was my highest add there, $19.93. I got filled. I had 2 orders to add that didn't fill. Jumped above my limit and didn't fill. But those ones filled at $19.93. And then I rode the momentum back down. It dropped in this candle to 17.12. And because I had added so high, my average was 18. Oh, it was over 18. It was like 18.30. So as it dropped to 17, I was down $1 a share. I tried to add at 17. I thought, okay, dip trade, add. First 1 minute candle to make a new high. Then it drops to 16.30. I had to sell. It drops more. I tried to do a dip for a pop back up. It pops up a little bit, comes back down. I added at 14.50 for a dip trade, pops back up to 16.19. And then it just flushed and I lost $17,000 on it. So I definitely was chasing the momentum. It was moving fast. I didn't realize how high the float was until I was already out of the trade, actually. I didn't realize it was that high until the trade was over. Had I realized the float was 196 million shares, maybe I would have hesitated, but the fact that it was moving that quickly is usually something I would be pretty tempted to jump on. And we were just talking about GLSI, which was sort of a similar stock in a way. This was in December. I don't know that I'll be able to pull up the chart on it, but let's see. I do have it saved, so let me see if I can find it. GLSI. So GLSI, yeah, so I have two charts on it right here. So this is from the Warrior Pro classes. So GLSI, look at this. This thing went from 12 all the way up to $38 a share. This thing made a huge move, and it was on light volume. Now it did end up retracing the whole move, but it made a much bigger move than GDEV made today. And then at the open, it halted down. And then by the end of the day, this thing had hit a high of $150. So what started as very light momentum ended up giving us a lot of opportunities. I think when I saw GDEV squeezing, I jumped, and I didn't realize the float was as high as it was, and I just thought it was going to keep going, and I ended up being wrong. HLBZ, I jumped on, but not as aggressively because I was red on the day, so I was a little timid. I ended up doing well on it, but this is the one that worked. Well, the difference on this one, I suppose, number one, it reacted immediately to the news at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. and it immediately started going. GDEV, the news was at 7, but it didn't really start going until later, and I did jump on it, but the fact that it wasn't kind of like immediately on the news may be an issue. Number two, GDEV float being higher. Most traders at this point out there understand that lower float stocks are the ones that are more likely to make big moves. And a lot of traders will not even trade high float stocks. And that, extends out to the Robinhood, Wall Street Bets, sort of community of traders. They will sometimes trade higher float stocks, but we're seeing more and more interest on the lower float names. So I think the fact at that time the float was that high, and then HLBZ started to sort of take the interest, that took even more focus away from GDEV, and it just continued to fade. I thought maybe as it came back up above VWAP that we would get another opportunity on it right here, but we didn't. And so it's actually down even versus when the news came out at 7 a.m., which is kind of like the trade on IMPL, which was one that I lost like 30 grand on. When was this? Last week or whatever. So this one had FDA news on this day, and it goes from 30 up to 45, and I did not get filled at 32, which is where I wanted to buy. And then I ended up buying at like 36 and 38 and 40. It goes to 45. I was up $27,000, and then I gave it all back and finished down 30 grand. It was like a $60,000, $70,000 swing in my P&L. So, these are two examples of ones that that didn't go, ones that failed. But then look over at EFTR. Here's an example of one where this one a week ago Wednesday on light volume just kept going. And it did it 2 days in a row. I mean, it did pull back from 10 to 20 back to 11, but it held better. And then the next day it goes all the way up to 40 bucks. So it's hard to know which one's going to hold and which one won't. Part of momentum trading is being aggressive, at least in my opinion, being aggressive and jumping on what's moving. And if it continues to hold, then continuing to add and continuing to be aggressive makes sense. Unfortunately, when they start on light volume, sometimes that is when you see big moves like this, but those moves can reverse quickly. And then just like that, you can go from being up $10,000 or $20,000 or whatever it is to red on the stock. And that's hard. So these are initially when they're on light volume, they can be some of the more difficult stocks to trade. As the volume comes in, they can be a little bit easier, but then we can also get to a point like we had on this where we had high volume, but it was very choppy until finally it started to break out. But even then we got some chop. So a little bit tricky today. I'm grateful that it's not a second red day. I almost did hit. I was red, so I recovered from red to green thanks to HLBZ, and I'm gonna throw in the towel here, up 20,000 on the day, and be grateful that I'm not red. It was a close call. And when it comes to trading light volume stocks like GDEV, the last two that I traded, GDEV and IMPL, I lost on both of them. But then HLBZ, when I first started trading, it was also light volume, and this one I ended up doing well on. So I guess, it's just and I did well on EFTR also. I made almost 100,000 on EFTR. So I guess it's just the luck of the draw, and you just don't know, but it's important as a beginner trader to understand the risk in trading. That trading is risky, and trading these types of stocks like HLBZ that's up 160%, these are going to be some of the riskiest to trade. Same with EFTR last week, same as IMPL. And with that risk and that volatility comes potential, reward potential, but you have to make sure you manage your risk on it. And so if you're not comfortable trading these, and I didn't get comfortable for a long time, then you've got to trade in a simulator. Practice them in the sim before you flip live with real money, and take it slow. So, that's where I'm at today. In the big account, it's a green day. Also in the small account, I traded GDEV, and because I take one entry, I'm not able to add. I'm actually green in the small account, but I'm net red on the stock because I'm down 17,000 here. So anyways, I'll do the small account recap separately and probably reiterate much of what I've just said. And I hope that HLBZ continues. This is great to see, good momentum, but we'll live to trade another day, and I will see you guys back at it on Monday morning. All right, I'll see you on Monday. I hope you really enjoyed that video, and make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers this year, but we won't get there without your help. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button.